All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're back today. We're playing more Han Cluster, and we're starting up a new adventure, doing a little Savage Tale. We did the reunification arc from the quick start, and now we're gonna just dive into one of the Savage Tales. They're gonna be in the core rulebook. I was also talking to Tracy today, and it sounds like the crowdfunding campaign is on track. I don't know if I should say these things. I'm not sure if Tracy, if I'm okay to say this, but I think she's targeting like end of the month, 25th. I think that's the idea. Yay. So we'll see. But we'll drop some links here and there if you're interested in seeing the quick start and seeing, because there's plenty of stuff like everything that we just played the last couple of weeks. You could play, and now we're playing something a little different. Playing something that's going to be in one of the source books, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know how long this one's going to go. I don't think it's going to be as long as reunification. It could be 1 to 2 sessions, I think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. And we also have a new character as well, as we're going to introduce a new character since we lost one before. I don't
Wait, did someone die?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
No, was that not clear? Sure. Was that not clear? I totally killed Birdie at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Got shot out of, you know?
Oh my God. Long, when did you put on your hat? I didn't think in the load up you didn't have your hat on, and now you have your hat on.
It's just automatically there.
The stream loads up.
Stream starts, pops
Take
up.
I am so Long gets all the Bettys. Long,
do something.
Long.
Do something. Just saying. Do something. Like over on that side. Yeah. Well, listen, Steven, you've got no leg to stand on here. Like, come on.
I thought if I
Where's your
was
lab
on your
coat?
side, I'd get a Benny.
Lab coat? Lab coat? You could put on the white jacket from our Delta Green game, and that's kind of close to a lab coat, right? The Benny Price one?
I don't think it's here anymore. I think it's in storage. I'd have to run.
You back?
We can wait.
All right, give me 15 minutes. I'll be right back.
15 minutes?
Are you back to the t-shirt though that kind of looks like the scrubs? I think that may be what you've got.
Yeah, we don't want
this kind of does with the V-neck.
Yeah.
You should have oiled up like you still had the heel gel on.
Yeah. Just get a bunch of like cocoa butter just smeared anything. Fair enough. Okay. By the way, I think I didn't really think too much about this now that you mentioned item and usage. If you want to just like reset whatever you had at the start, we'll say that you all did a little shopping. And so if there was if there are any things that you use that you've expended or that you broke, go ahead and you can say you have it again. And I've also reset all your wounds and stuff. Enough time has passed where you would have gotten some healing and whatnot. I don't think anybody was too horribly dead other than Birdie. So I think everyone could have come back from where they were. So yeah, we're just going to kind of start fresh a little while later. Okay. So got any lingering questions? We all good to go? We ready to get started?
Good.
Let's dive right in. All right. Let's see. Let's get a little music going first. All right. We're going to open a black screen as we usually do. We fade in on a planet different than one we've seen before. No verdant green and blues. Instead, it's a rust red and scarred planet with thin, dusty clouds swirling across the atmosphere. And then we see, after a moment of just sort of lingering over top of it, the bottom right corner of our screen, we see blue lettering pop up. And it says, tracked. Start to descend through the atmosphere a bit, pass all these orbital convoys, these atmospheric sensor arrays. We span over this vast, empty plain marred by like mining trenches and broken by clusters of industrial spires and cities. And we start to descend towards one of those cities. And that word tracked suddenly starts to shift and change. And it morphs eventually into the word Porso. And as we're hovering over this city, we see these clean lines and streets that suggest a level of planning that's probably not as abundant elsewhere on the planet. And we pass over these neat modular buildings and the scattered greenery of Porso University. And we over this urban sprawl of downtown, these flickering neons and these sunken alleys. And we settle even closer now to where a illuminated marquee reads, the sundown. Patrons are coming and going, getting drinks, music, rumors. And as we move inside, we can see that there's these small parties that are huddled in various nooks and booths, some of which have privacy filters activated. We can see individuals sitting at stools around a circular bar served by a platinum-haired woman with these glistening blue eyes and encompassing an island that has a series of screens showing various news feeds. Local, planetary, cluster-wide, the details of Arcadium, Edenic, and the Draxel communication relays going down, and now, thankfully, back up are still ticking across those screens. In one corner, several tables have been grouped together for an event, and we see a hollow projector has thrown a too perfect image of Arushi Varna on this plasteel wall, and we see this little label, Savior of Arcadium, kind of underneath her face. Most of these tables are empty at this point. You can see glasses and plates have not yet been collected by this meandering caustics repair drone, like warranty voided, repurposed for the service industry. But there is one table, and it's very full. There's 5 capped individuals. They're laughing, crying, drinking, talking. 4 are very familiar to us. It's the crew of the Old Hope. We see the flickering pilot goggles of Reese Morgan. You can see the artistic makeup of Birdie Miller made to look like her namesake. We see the flowing sleeves and parachute pants of our monkish friend, Rayonora. And we see the starchy and the well-creased lab coat of Dr. Sonnet, sometimes known as Sunny D. The 5th person is unfamiliar to us. So Maitreya, could you describe who it is that we see sitting at the table with the crew of the Old Hope?
Yeah, Alia, who helped put this event together, this memorial for Arushi, an old friend of hers, is sitting at the table. She has this sort of grungy, cool energy because she hasn't really taken a whole lot of care of herself. She's got really dark brown skin and she's got kind of bags under her eyes and a shock of bright teal blue hair with one side shaved and really short, and she's kind of sitting there just kind of rotating a glass that's like half full with some brown liquid in her hand and just having a forced smiling conversation with the people here. And but you can tell the smile doesn't quite reach her eyes. She's obviously quite sad.
And so as we continue to just sort of zoom in on them, we hear these voices pop up, stories being told about Arushi. We're going to do what's called an interlude, which for those of you who aren't too familiar with Savage Worlds yet, it's a little bit of downtime. So I'm going to draw some cards, I'm going to deal them out, and this one's going to be particularly special. So what you're going to do, we'll reward you with an extra Benny if you would like. Based upon what we draw, you're going to tell a little story about Arushi. You're going to center it somehow on Arushi and about your experiences, how you met her, or something that happened. And there's going to be like prompts from the draw that will kind of help skew and steer you in a direction. So I've already put you in the order. And if you get a jack, which lo and behold, Aaliyah just did, that means you basically get an extra Benny. I think everyone gets an extra Benny. And you get to choose effectively whatever it is that you want to pick. Now, what you draw in terms of the actual number doesn't matter. It's purely based upon suit. So an interlude, depending on what you draw, you are going to basically get to choose between either downtime, backstory, or trek. Those are sort of the 3 categories. Downtime is like what you've been doing when you were left alone, but we're going to reflavor that as like what is something that maybe Arushi caught you doing alone, or you and Arushi did together. Backstory is just some sort of tale, maybe how you found her, how you kind of came to get to know one another. And then there's a trek, maybe something that you did while traveling around in the cluster. So that's basically where we're at. And so, Aaliyah, I'll let you go. We'll have you go a little bit later, and you can kind of pick where you want to put this in. And now, when I say story, it's brief. It doesn't have to be anything too involved. Just a couple sentences, nothing like that. And so, let's see. So it looks like, Birdie, you were given a spade. So you have a choice. You can describe a time where you and Arushi had some alone time, some very quiet time. What were the two of you doing? You could describe like a backstory element where it's like a victory or triumph that you and Arushi shared together, not counting obviously what we just experienced in the last scenario. Or it could be more about some kind of difficult obstacle that you and her kind of overcame at some point in your travels. So I'm going to toss it to you, Birdie. What do you think, what's something you might be telling this group of people who are trying to memorialize your old friend?
Birdie would kind of go into just some kind of soft, quiet moments that she had with Arushi. Because she is I'm a linked machine. So she just woke up one day with consciousness, and she's just kind of been trying to find herself. And Arushi always spoke about her daughter and highly of her daughter and like what her daughter has accomplished. And Birdie has always admired the mother that Arushi was. And so whenever she had questions of things, she kind of always reached for Arushi like she was her own mom. And she just talks about how wonderful it was. Sure, it led up to the horrible event that we dealt with, but we had, during the trip there, we were on some sort of like space bus, I guess, a cluster bus, and we were just hanging out, talking. We brought our own sort of like digital game that we like to play together. And she always, if something broke, she'd fix it, and just fond memories that Birdie had of just the love that she held for her.
Okay. Which probably, Aaliyah, as that story progresses, it's probably even harder maybe to keep that sense of not emotionless, but kind of keep that sense of calm on your face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We turn next to Birdie. We see Reese. Reese, you drew a club. So you would basically be looking at maybe a story about seeing Arushi angry, or maybe a time you were angry and she helped you calm you down, or it could be a tale of misfortune, like something that happened. It could be something that involves maybe a hindrance of yours, but also obviously Arushi as well. Or it could be some kind of hardship. So it could be like a mechanical breakdown, some bad weather, lost supplies, things like that. What do you think Reese would share?
So knowing that Arushi was a technician, meeting her in his early days, always docked near track to get repairs, but Arushi just wouldn't fix my ship. It's old tech. She's next tech. She just wouldn't deal with it at all. So it took years of begging, pushing her, asking for help, until she finally decided to help out, fix the ship.
Okay. So it's just the stubbornness of her just not willing with this new tech, but eventually over time you wore her down, and then at a certain point you became friends and joined the crew together. Okay. Excellent.
I love that. Stubborn is literally one of her agents.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, next up, I believe, is Ray. Ray, you have a diamond, is that right? Yeah, it's a diamond.
I do have a diamond.
So for diamond, it could be some kind of studying that you did, or working on an object or something like that, like something you worked on together, some project you might have had. It could be something that you, like some want or goal or need that the two of you shared. or it could be something like during travels you found somebody that was in need of help, and the two of you somehow helped them along in some way.
So I'm thinking that there was kind of a time where we sort of had a little bit of a kind of a trade. So probably kind of in the last few years, when, kind of after her daughter had passed away, and Ray and Mandy had kind of some kind of tech that Mandy had that just wasn't getting fixed. And so kind of Ray convinced Arushi to kind of, come out to Onyx and help Mandy kind of fix. She had this, kind of just kind of her favorite little, kind of little electronic, I'm thinking sort of like a Tamagotchi kind of a thing that just wasn't working quite right. And so kind of Ray and Arushi kind of traveled out to Onyx and kind of got to know Mandy and the family, and kind of did some kind of fixing up of stuff, which was very beneath Arushi's skills, of course, with kind of this kind of a thing, but in the process of kind of coming and hanging out with kind of Ray and the family, they're all, kind of in that more kind of like spiritualistic side of things. And so the, kind of flip side of that was kind of Ray really being interested in kind of doing some meditation stuff with Arushi. And Arushi had just really kind of not been, and she kind of invited her a couple times and not really, but kind of Ray knew if we were like all together with Ray's family, then she was not going to say no. And she, kind of like, getting up in the morning, going to the park and, kind of doing, some kind of like meditation kind of thing. And so she kind of like, that was a kind of little trade-off of a little kind of tech work, meet the family and maybe get some meditation time in there.
Okay, fantastic. And then we turn over towards Dr. Sonnet. And Dr. Sonnet, you also drew a club, so you're looking at maybe a story about Arushi being angry, or you being angry, or maybe a tale of misfortune involving the two of you, or something about overcoming some kind of loss or hardship together. What do you think?
So I think since Reese also had clubs, his story sparks an idea, or sparks the memory of a story that Dr. Sonnet had, where he was constantly harassing Arushi to get to work on the ship, and she was constantly pushing it off. And then Dr. Sonnet remembers that they were on a mission together, a trip. We've done a lot of like first response work and things like that, offering aid to people across the different planets. And there was one gig that we took that was essentially just offering mass vaccinations against some rare space virus on a planet. And we had to get this machine that was a portable vaccination machine. It's meant to handle like thousands of people a day. And we've just got massive lines and crowds of people who are coming up, and they stick their arm in the machine and it gives them the jab and sanitizes and, puts a bandage on there. And then they continue on and this machine breaks down. And Dr. Sonnet is just becoming overwhelmed because he's doing everything by hand. He's trying to get all these the Star Trek, hypo needle. He can do that only so much before, the scale doesn't transfer. And Arushi is working as hard as she can immediately to fix this machine, to get it going so that we can actually get all this done. And then towards the end, Reese comes up and says, "Hey, why are you working on this when we have our ship that's been busted for years?" And Arushi just glares at him and then gets back to work.
Fantastic. And then as all of you kind of share your story, you turn, and maybe it was not so perfectly structured, or maybe it wasn't, but it's just this one person tells a story, picks up on the next. And then we settle on Aaliyah. And so Maitreyi, you drew a Joker, so you could do it anything you want, really. Like there's no limitation. So what's a story Aaliyah might tell about Arushi to this crew that you've only really known probably by correspondence, like especially recent as you reached out when the news feeds started showing Arushi, like the face that you know, right? And not only that she died in a heroic manner, like sacrificing herself to save millions of people, and that she was tied to this crew known as the Old Hope. And then you start asking around and you realize that the Old Hope has a bit of a reputation on track. They've done a variety of missions, humanitarian, usually of some variety. They're known to be sort of noble, good people. And so, the limited exchange you've had with them is just been, asking for them to come when they're ready. And that you've had to like put off this for a little bit because Birdie was recuperating and then there was repairs that needed to be done and everyone kind of needed to come together. So it's been maybe a fortnight or so since the incidents. What's the story you might share with these people?
I'm gonna go with backstory, and that might also shed some light on the additional joke that she got when Birdie told her story. How Aaliyah met Arushi was Arushi's daughter Janaki was a professor at Porso University, where Aaliyah is a tech, and they started spending first professional time together, and then they got romantically involved. And because this is real life and things don't work out more often than they do, things didn't work out. But things had already got serious enough that Leia had met Janaki's parents, Arushi and Indra, and she kind of got along really well with Arushi, to the point where they kind of stayed in touch, much to Janaki's chagrin. After they had broken up too, and so Janaki was always like, I've broken up with her. Why am I always seeing her? Like, why is she always here? But she was always there, and they bonded with their love of just picking tech apart, mostly legally, and Sundown was her favorite spot. Which is why we are hosting the memorial here. So hearing Birdie talk about what a wonderful mother Arushi was to Janaki, definitely gets her a little bit more choked up. And as she's kind of reading the story, there's a very clear sort of hitch in her voice and a trembling as she's trying to keep together as she talks to four strangers who she knows meant a lot to Arushi.
So as the conversation winds down, like other people were here attending the memorial service but have long left. And if you look around the sundown, like it's definitely into the late hours. You can even see that the bartender is kind of in the process of closing up. No one's going to get kicked out. And it's around this time as maybe a few of you kind of get your things ready to settle up or to kind of get up and move that a woman approaches the table. She's been here, but she's been lingering by the bar. Any of you with, decent notice skills probably observed her, not in a way that suggested anything nefarious. But you can tell that she certainly seemed interested at times in what was happening over in this section of the sundown. And when she comes over, you can definitely tell that she's professional looking. You can tell she's dressed in something of a kind of a business suit. But there's a tiredness to her. You can tell, like in her face, in this sort of kind of pale, kind of pale white face with a little bit of age, but not particularly old. But you can definitely see there's some sleeplessness there. And Aaliyah, you recognize her as she approaches, and maybe you saw her, maybe you didn't. That's up to you. But she kind of gives you a quick nod, and then she says, "I don't mean to intrude. Aaliyah, hello. I know this is perhaps not the best time, most diplomatic time, but I was hoping I could get a moment with you." And she's like directing you towards the crew of the Old Hope, if it would be all right with you. And she looks, and you can tell she doesn't look. She looks almost ashamed at doing this. Like she looks like she recognizes like this is a relatively untoward kind of thing, like interrupting.
Leah will stand and say, "No, of course, Dr. Faintchard, please sit." And she'll look at the groom like, "This is the president of the university." And Ali had started to say "my boss," and then like, and this is the president of the university.
We're off campus. Gail is fine. And she says this, politely. "Hello. Aaliyah has the right of it. My name is Gail Fanchard. I the university down the road. I'm the president. And I was wondering if, again, I apologize for this. I was wondering if you would be able to potentially help me with a little situation we're having. You have such a strong reputation, even before." And she points up towards one of the screens above the circular bar, which is showing from a distance, like the camera of the Thora kind of going down in the near miss with the Arcadian platform city, and then screeching along, and then it's showing like images of various people, including Urushi, but also of yourselves, and you can see there's the Old Hope as well, and like maybe your names aren't popping up as much, but the crew of the Old Hope is. And she says, even before that, I've heard good things about from various industries across tract that you all are a crew of people who are, well, you are trustworthy, incapable, and that is honestly something.
What exactly is it that you need done?
Don't be so coy about it. We're all friends here. Here, drink to Urushi, and I'll pass her a shot. And you could tell like she wasn't sure of that. She has like some little fluted bit of like some elegant like white wine spritzer kind of thing, and you hand over like some hard like brown liquor. It's like and she goes to down it, but then she sips. Oh goodness, and then puts it back down. How very flavorful.
I can't drink those either. Anyways,
to stifle a laugh.
Yeah.
The point of those is to not taste them.
Oh, well, consider me educated. In answer to your question, in Porso, on campus, we've been having a bit of a situation. You may have seen it in some of the local feeds, but some of our students have been attacked on campus. And while there haven't been any serious injuries, thankfully, there have been some serious consequences. The attacks have been, they have been very difficult to get a handle on, and we're not fully certain who is responsible or why they're happening. It almost seems in some ways like the goal of them is purely to stoke fear and anger and paranoia, and they are being very successful at that. We have students who have unenrolled for the semester. We have others who have left the campus altogether. We've been getting some pressure from our occupational partners to get a handle on these things, or else funding could get pulled. We have worked very hard here in Porso to create a reputation that is respected cluster-wide. And there is some serious fear that if Porso University were to suffer, the entire city will suffer, and it will have a cascading effect. The problem is that, and you notice, actually anyone who wants to roll a notice test if you feel like you're, if you're of a capability to do so.
I thought I might have been, but my roll said not otherwise.
Your roll said no. Your roll said no. Hey,
Got a 5.
the dice tell a story. 5. Okay, excellent. Okay. Oh, I see someone exploded.
7.
All right, what are we up to? How do we do?
Nice.
Okay. Reese and Ray, the two of you notice that when she says we, and when she says reputation, and when she says, when she starts talking a little bit more about the problem, you notice her eyes kind of dart over to the far recesses of the Sundown, where there are like private rooms and like privacy. There's like kind of privacy filtering where you can see not so much people inside, but rather this kind of translucent sort of shimmering field, but you can tell there's a private party back there. And she seems kind of hesitant as she looks back. But she says that there are forces, there are stakeholders. We have a variety of stakeholders, and some of those are less diplomatic than others. It is just the state of what we are, and our concern is that if this isn't handled appropriately, that they might take more drastic measures, and in doing so make something that has already been terrible even worse.
Gail, can I ask you to speak plainly? What is being threatened? What are they threatening of your school?
And you can tell, like, she's a little hesitant. Give me a persuasion test to see if you can coax this last bit out of her.
All right, I've got a D8 in persuasion. Let's see how this goes.
And I think actually there might be a -1 on this. Let me double check.
Well, I rolled a 10, so if there's a -1, I got a 9.
Don't worry about it at all. Then it doesn't matter. Moot point. Okay, so that's a raise for sure. So, are you familiar with? And she like leans in. Sibelius Kronk. And any of you, and I would say, Aaliyah, you're good. You don't have to roll. The rest of you could roll common knowledge if you want. Anybody who would like
Dang,
to?
I don't have common knowledge.
You can roll it untrained.
Dear.
If you look at the bottom of your sheet, there is an untrained button.
Unskilled
it's at
attempt?
-2. Yeah, unskilled attempt. Yeah.
Regular success.
Yeah, let's try it.
Regular success.
I'll have no
Hooray.
idea.
Okay. Ray and Dr. Sonnet in a. Whoa, you okay?
Oh my
Everything all
gosh,
right?
Ashley. Ashley's like,
Wow.
Sure, I'll give it a roll.
Wow.
Let me just explode all the D6s.
Holy crap. 3 6s is a bad sign. That's 21. Oh my goodness. Dear God. Okay.
Unskilled 21.
Ray,
I was
Dr.
his entire
Sonnet.
network.
Yeah, she knows everything. She knows everything. Oh yeah, he's my dad. Yeah. So Ray, Dr. Sonnet, and Aaliyah, you all know, and Birdie, you know as well. And not only that, but you've probably heard some more nefarious stories, and maybe something part of your backstory that's for you to sort of sort out. But you know that Sibelius Kronk is for better or worse, he's a gangster, and a notorious one, and one that is not just some small town, small city. He is essentially one of the main powers on the entire planet. And his network, his Kronk gang, has its fingers in various places. Now, he definitely uses Porso and like Rockton and such other towns here, other cities on tract as as places where, like many of his industries, his businesses, are kind of his business interests are. Now, Birdie, you would also know that since you got a raise, I would say you would know or have heard rumors. I don't know how you have to come up with how you think you want to justify this info, but basically you would know that, yes, he's a gangster, but there has been a turn of late where he is trying to legitimize his businesses in a certain way, or and in doing so, he's trying to legitimize certain elements, certain industries of Porso and Interact itself, which is why he was like a founding member of Porso University. He was one of the financial seeds to kind of get it started, with the goal of trying to make this place look legitimate. And so you would know a little bit about that. Maybe it was just like random reading you had on your way over, or however you think it might have cropped up. But that is who Sibelius Kronk is. And so when she says to you all, "Do you know who this is?" Some of you do. And
Birdie was looking into Sibelius Kronk so much because she's still unaware of what she was before she gained consciousness, essentially. So she's trying to look into who maybe was her, not creator, I guess is not the right thing, but just sort of like who's in her background of her life. And a thread leads back to him, and she's trying to determine what that means.
Excellent. By the way, just a bit of bookkeeping. I gave you all an extra Benny because your interlude participation would give you a Benny, and I forgot to give it to you. So you're all good. Plus, you got the Joker one. You guys are rolling Bennies right now. Okay.
So we've heard of him.
Well, he is very concerned, and when Sibelius Kronk gets concerned, he also gets very frustrated, and he gets very angry, and he occasionally gets very rash, and he makes very terrible decisions that will have consequences that are farther reaching than he realizes. And it is just a matter of time before he takes control, or tries to take control, of the situation that we're facing at the university. And when he takes control, whatever sense of reputability we have currently, and whatever sense of decorum that we have, is going to go right out the window, and he's going to bring his thugs onto the campus, and any sense of safety and any sense of academic rigor and any sense of support for our students is going to go right out the window. And I don't want that to happen. I've worked very hard to maintain and build this university, and Aaliyah as well. And I would hate to see it marred, which is why I would prefer somebody with a more level head and with a reputation of doing the right thing for the right reasons.
Well, I'm all for, sometimes people can turn over a new leaf and never want to hold someone's past against them. But it really sounds like you know what's best for this university. And if you think that we could help you, I'll speak for myself, but I would be happy to try to help you.
Well, that's very kind. We have an emergency fund within the university for these sorts of matters, but that is not entirely true. But the emergency fund and our trustees are willing to fund your endeavors. So if you are willing to accept the task.
It's not about the money. It's about
it kind of is. We might need the
thing.
Just for our expenses covered. We don't need any extra pay on top.
Of
course.
Ray has a hindrance of poverty. So it's not about the money.
Yes, well, we would insist, she says, as like Reese and Dr. Sana speak up. We would insist, of course, to compensate you for your time, for your efforts, and for any supplies.
Ray is right. Like, this is, if you need help, we're happy to help. But in the course of events, oftentimes expenses occur. We'll send you receipts. As long as we get reimbursed, we'll be fine.
Of course. Yes. Yes.
Do you have any documents of the events that have happened that we could review?
You can tell that she kind of grimaces. Yeah, she kind of grimaces, and she's like, yes, that's an excellent and very reasonable question. Our campus security is currently, or our head of campus security is a man by the name of Darius Rank. He is not a man I am I am particularly enamored with his performance. I frankly don't trust him. My suspicion is that Sibelius has already planted his people, and that Mr. Darius is one of them. He and his security officers are hard at work at fixing the problem, they assure me, but attacks continue. We have heard some anecdotal stories about the attacks themselves, but any paperwork has been filed away in the campus security databases, and Mr. Rank is unwilling to release those for reasons he claims are investigative integrity or some such. But the attacks have happened everywhere on campus, so much so that Aaliyah, as you would know, we've had to cancel many events, guest lecturers, and some of our finest traditions, including the hike to the Softlander, and that does not seem to
look
have helped.
actively surprised. I had no idea it was that bad.
Yes, we have been trying as best we can to treat this as not just a security issue, but a public relations issue. And the security issue has grown too unwieldy for us to control, and the public relations issue has now begun to suffer as well. We have kept as best we can, a tight control, but as it's very clear, the dorms are half empty. Our shutters are filled with students who don't feel safe any longer. It is not something that we can excuse with individual stories of this person is transferring or that person has a sick family member. It's becoming a more noticeable problem. And everyone on campus that remains on campus is scared.
How many
It's
attacks
not
have there been?
okay.
The exact number, we're not certain, but a dozen at least. How far back they go, we're not entirely sure. There are various eyewitnesses that have reported, this is going to sound ridiculous, that the attackers have been ghost clowns. They are people who have ghosted themselves, but apparently have taken on the form of clowns. And their harassment of individuals has been getting increasingly aggressive, although physical injuries have been limited. The psychological impact itself has been more of our concern.
Understandable.
We believe it is just a matter of time before there is something far more serious.
Is there an area of you said it's all over the campus, but is there perhaps one area where there's more reported attacks than others? the dorms where people are alone?
There have been fairly few attacks around the administrative buildings, but all across the quad, the housing and our academic buildings, none seem to be excused from it. It is hard to say with any certainty without actually having the collected data that Mr. Rank has kept from us. But it does not appear as though any one particular part of campus has been excused. There have even been reports of people from one of our professors, Professor Wren. He and a few of his students were charting out the hike up to the Softlander, and they were attacked as well and had to flee. So it does not seem as though there is any one particular location that we can tell of.
Okay.
I would
So far-
imagine that the students that have been attacked that needed to get medical attention.
Yes.
Are there
some have.
medical reports for these attacks?
We do have some of that information. Most of the injuries seem to be in the form of contusions, concussions, a few broken bones. Others suffered injuries from fleeing scenes and falling. A few reported being physically assaulted and hit with some sort of X-weaponry. No signs of gunshot wounds or anything of that sort, at least.
Ghost clowns. It sounds like some sort of student prank gone too far.
That is how we treated it initially, Mr.
Dr. Sonnet.
Doctor. And you can see suddenly she raises an eyebrow as if she respects you a little bit more because you dropped your title. Doctor, that is a theory that we initially took. And we spent time asking students, investigating, and there was... I don't know if it's simply because students do not like to answer to administrators, or if they're covering for each other, or if they're fear, paranoia, for concern over retribution for saying something. Whatever it might be, we are unable to find any suitable culprits or even anyone willing to point fingers at suspects.
Do you have a number of student organizations on campus? Have they ever had behavioral problems before?
We are a respected university. We are a full-fledged with a very large student body. We have several supporting groups, student clubs. We have various programs of study, occupational associations with different companies here on tract and across the cluster. There have, of course, always been, it is a large grouping of people, so there will always be incidents, but there's never been anything to this magnitude or this frequency.
You mentioned frequency. Is there, is this happening every day? Is there a certain day of the week?
I cannot say that it happens any certain day, but I can tell you that the attacks happen at night. That does seem to be something consistent.
Do you think we could stay at some of the dorms or areas just so we're here on campus at night? I don't know why I'm talking like Ray.
Yeah. It's infectious, right?
It is.
Yeah. Maybe your injuries from getting shot out of the garbage compactor knocked a few things loose.
No, I'm still pretty peppy.
just forgot.
No, it's infectious.
Give me a persuasion test to see if you could ask you want to stay at a dorm. Okay. Actually, you ever been to a dorm before?
No.
We don't want to stay in a dorm.
You wouldn't ask to stay in a dorm if you had ever been to a dorm
Birdie
before.
doesn't have that kind of common knowledge.
Birdie's the only one
That's
asking
fair.
to stay at the dorm.
Yeah, she wants that
That's
college
right, Birdie does
experience.
not have
I always
common
wanted to go to
knowledge.
college.
3.
you want to Benny that? You have tons of Bennies.
Yeah, let's do it for fun.
Yeah, go ahead and Benny.
Well, I feel like a fail would be the yes, right? If she succeeds, they tell us no. We're better off for it.
Oh, gosh.
16 with a raise.
Oh gosh.
Okay, with a raise, she'll say, she chuckles, we would not put you up in the student dormitories, but many administrators and faculty do have housing on or immediately off campus. We have rooms in which we could put you up in. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. And then do you want us to be undercover upon campus or more of a focal point to hopefully have people come to us and express their concerns?
That is an excellent question. I will leave you to decide what strategies you take, but I'm looking for problem solvers, not for enforcers.
This is perfect, then.
Yes.
Birdie's already suggested we stay on campus. We just boots on the ground sort of investigation. We show up acting as students, faculty. We'll get more information like that.
If that is the strategy you wish to take, I am in full support of it, yes. Expediency is ideal, of course.
Okay.
We'll set up a meeting with Mr. Rank, you said, who has access to the files. Maybe we can convince him of the urgency of the situation.
Yes. And then she turns, Aaliyah, since it seems you have a connection with these people, would you mind perhaps liaisoning with them? You can show them the campus and if there's...
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Are there any additional questions I could answer for you?
I wanted to follow up on what the doc asked. Are you okay with Mr. Rank knowing that you've got other people looking into this? Or would you rather that we not share that particular detail?
I can tell you that he will likely not be the most forthcoming with you, regardless of whether you are posing as faculty or students, or if you are there at my behest. I have sent several requests from my offices to his for release of information, and he has not responded to any of them, except with very discourteous words that I will not repeat here. So, if you...
Amelia kind of like shifts in her seat.
So,
and at that,
again,
Birdie
defer to you.
winks as she kind of gets the message of like, okay, not at you, at Ray. Like,
Okay.
We're going to have to go kind of more undercover and maybe like break in. And like Birdie's kind of excited about it.
All right.
Is there anything else I can provide you?
Can you set up us a lecture time? We can pose an event. Maybe they'd be likely to attack them.
Certainly, it would need to be we have nighttime forums occasionally in the student union. Do any of you have particular expertise that you could?
We have a doctor. You could speak about something.
Or
yes,
we could speak about the event that we helped deal with and maybe try to promote hope amongst the student population during these times.
She nods at that. Yeah. If I think both ideas have merit. If you're seeking to remain somewhat anonymous, I think announcing yourselves might remove that. However, It could have the added benefit of combating some of the paranoia and fear that seems to be settling into the campus and honestly to the town at large.
Yeah.
Well, it's a huge bummer that all of this is happening, but we're going to do the best that we can because this is not okay.
She nods very slowly and then looks at like Dr. Sonnet and then looks at Aaliyah and then nods again. Thank you. I am overjoyed that you are willing to take on the task, and you fill me with great confidence. Now, I will leave word with the administrative buildings if you would like to. Do you have lodgings for this evening? And it's late. Don't forget, it's pretty late. Like, you guys have been at this.
We would have had
all
something
day.
set up already.
Okay.
Planned.
Well, if you visit the campus tomorrow, if you come to the administrative halls, we can direct you to more suitable lodgings for groups of your kind. And if you decide that you would like to hold a public forum, we can. There's not much competition for the lecture halls currently, so we could, on fairly short notice, establish something for you. If you let me know in the morning, we can get the word out across the university Draxel Communications.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Perhaps we can do good in more ways than one. There's always need for public service announcements in the college environment.
She nods. She says, "Yes, Doctor, that is well said." And I was concerned. I was worried that I was imposing upon you, but I can see now that your reputation is a well-earned one. Thank you very much. She stands. I will, if you need anything, you can. She kind of like gives you over like Draxel IDs. You can kind of communicate with her directly if you need to, and then like where she is, like where her offices specifically are on campus. And then she says goodbye to all of you, and then she says, "Lehigh, we'll see you on campus tomorrow, and hopefully
yes,
hopefully the rest of you." And then she ends. My condolences for your friend.
Thank you.
She steps away.
As soon as she is out by earshot, Alia turns to this. It's like, okay, well, Arisha would have wanted to help, and I'm obviously going to help because Arisha would have wanted that. So let's get that out of the way first, so that's happening. The other thing is that we don't actually need to go speak to Rank. I can try and hack into the systems and pull out the video or any details that you might have. So if that doesn't work, then maybe we can go talk. I don't want to say this in front of my boss because it's not
the fact
the
that
most legal thing.
Yeah, he's not like a confidential, officer or something. If his head of this whole school is telling him to give him this information and he's not giving it, that's suspicious.
Well, that's all the more reason to talk to him as well, to try and understand. Try to understand why he's withholding information.
Yeah, after we have the information.
Yeah, I'm with you, Birdie.
I always advocate trying to stay within the legal bounds before performing illegal activities. So I think that's something we should keep in mind.
My mistake. It sounded like I was asking. I wasn't asking. I was informed.
You were a bold one for the new one to the group.
Do you want me to help or not? Because I would really like to help.
She's just as stubborn as a Rushi. This is great.
There's always different ways to get things done.
Impulsive and loyal are my hindrances.
and Ray and Dr. Sonnet Ray and Dr. Sonnet have a code of honor, so we are doing what we do. Really,
well,
of course we're going to do this.
You don't have to be involved in this part of it. In fact, I might not even get anything, but I'm just saying it's worth trying.
And Sunny T, you realize, proper channels can easily be compromised. We just had to deal with that.
Proper channels exist for a reason, though. This society that we've built up exists to allow everyone to have the proper protection and the same fair access to information. And he may be overstepping his rights, but that doesn't mean that we should immediately go to breaking the law. Let's at least talk to him, see why he's withholding information. Saying that I don't need to be involved is perfectly fine, except you've already said you plan to do it, which means that we are all involved now, and there is no way for me to no longer be involved.
I think maybe we could be involved in some other aspects of this. Birdie, I see your point that so if we talk to him first, then he could.
What if he says no?
Well, he's already said no to apparently several other people. If he was going to get rid of information, he would have done that by now.
No to you as well.
And then we can consider other options.
My concern is that once he realizes that we're there sniffing around, that's when he really will get rid of information.
Yeah.
Or
then,
if it's discovered,
backdoor access stops really being an option.
But
well, let's go ahead and get a lay of the land. Let's go to the campus, look around, try to.
Ali, you live on campus already, right?
Just off campus, yeah.
Why don't we go there now?
Yeah, we definitely can.
I would say I didn't cause any penalties on rolls, but like you guys have been drinking.
That's
like,
why Birdie's like, we should just go now.
And it's probably about like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So that's
and you guys watch as like Birdie stands up and she stumbles.
Forgot what time of day it was. Yeah, I mean that is the enthusiasm that's gonna get us to the bottom of this mystery. But I think maybe we should probably start it with clear heads. I think I'm
Reese,
going to
where do you
lay
stand
mine
on this?
down.
For Roshi. I'm just drinking.
He's not been paying attention at all.
Not even a little bit.
No. Okay, tonight is for Arushi. Tomorrow, we start our new lives as students.
Tonight is for Arushi.
I wish you wouldn't want students to get hurt. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Are
The
any of
longer
you
we
like,
leave things, the more people can get hurt.
are any of you young enough to pass as student? As like a young
Birdie's the
college
only
student?
one.
Yeah, I think I'm young enough. Like
Okay.
early 20s,
yeah.
mid 20s.
Okay. Probably like we'd probably do like a disguise roll or some such. Okay. So what's the plan then? It's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Many of you have been drinking all night and going through or all day with this sort of memorial. What's your plan? Do you want to do something tonight, or do you want to retreat and rest off?
We should
Ray's
probably
going
go to bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I
Birdie's
said, I'm too
talking
old
like
to pass
she's
as a
gonna go.
student, so I can't stay up that late.
I mean, students can be any age. And
Yeah,
we're not.
that's true. It is a university, so I was usually treating it like a university usually has a lower average age. So,
Yeah.
But no, that's
Like
not it's not untrue. Untrue.
Yeah. We're not
We do like a
necessarily
Rodney
in like
Dangerfield back to school kind of thing.
yeah, that's what I was like. It's not like we're going into freshman dorms or anything. Like we're staying on
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go to bed. Birdie's dancing next
Sleeping
to
on
the
the old
table. There's no music. She's
You're at
trying
a
to pull.
funeral, Birdie.
Yeah, she's drunk.
Jesus. Okay.
Birdie
He
has not been this drunk
Jesus.
before.
And
It's
is
a-
going to head home and
Okay.
try to hack into the system to get the
When you
video.
say hack into the system, you know your Draxel tapping ability is about like spying on an individual, right? Like your powers are like actually spying on them. Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that if you want to try to do your powers to spy on him, we could certainly do that. In terms of like hacking systems and such, yeah, I would say you'd probably have to be on site since he is kind of cordoned off like this
Sure.
for that. So and you're
I was thinking about the spy ability specifically.
Okay, so the spy allows you to actively spy on a distant target through the Draxel communication network. If at any time the target's Draxel is destroyed or moved out of range to its linked being, the power stops, etc., etc. If the caster has never seen or met the target before, the tapping roll is made at a -2. I would say you probably have encountered him before, but I will give you a -2 though for drinking and being a little bit out of it. Let's see. What else? So it also says if the target is more than 200 light years distance, that's not an issue. Let's see. Okay. So this has to be somebody that you have a Draxel ID of. Is that what this says? Yeah. So it says 2 points of these boundaries may be ignored if the caster has the target's Draxel ID. So you would need to have had the Draxel ID, which
I don't have.
No, probably not.
No.
But you could try to. That's something you could potentially hack. Like you could probably.
I
do that
was
from a
just
distance.
going to ask, can I make a hack roll to try and source that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that makes perfect sense because now you can kind of like go through like various. It could be hacking or research. You're just basically going through various administrative contexts and such.
Okay, I'd
See
like
if you can
to
get him directly.
do hacking because I would really like to not
Sure.
be caught.
This is contested, just so you know.
Yeah.
So he will be rolling and. Okay. So you go ahead and roll, and I shall do the same. All right.
Is it hacking or tapping to get the Drax ID?
Hacking. So tapping is specifically doing communication network stuff. So hacking or research would get you the ID, and then we would dip into when you use your powers. That's what you would use your tapping for.
Okay.
I did not roll properly. All right, mine didn't roll properly. All right, let's try again.
Hey,
16.
Okay. It's
nice roll.
It's actually 12 because it's adding the +2 from your Joker that we pulled at the beginning, and then you didn't add in the -2. Even still, you beat him as I only rolled a 6. So you're actually no. You're hacking this time. I wouldn't even roll contested for this. I apologize. So yeah, I would say you have his Draxel ID. So then from like administrative contacts and such, and then if you want to use, now you can use your spy power if you want, and then
I don't super know how to. I think that's it.
Okay, this is what's contested.
Got it.
It's still all right. It's because I haven't ended combat, isn't it? Okay, so your total roll is a 4. Do you want to Benny that?
I do want to Benny that.
Okay, go right ahead.
Thank you.
Try to do higher.
Ooh.
You are now at a 2.
No.
I don't know why it continues to give you. It's like your Joker bonus is stuck, but
yeah, why is it? Okay.
No idea. But you're at a 2. That's a 2 this time.
No, I'm just going to stay with the 6 because the last time I tried this, I could fail. So
okay. So I would say you are unable. Yeah, so your 4 does not beat his spirit roll of 6. So if the target wins, the attempt fails, and they can tell they're being spied on.
Okay.
So they will now be alert to the fact that somebody has attempted to spy via the Drax network on them.
He's getting an alert at like 3 a.m. that someone's watching him.
Randomly at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, someone's like spying it. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, they don't know exactly who you are. They didn't like anything like that. So they are alert to the fact that somebody was just trying to spy on them. Okay. So Aaliyah, do you do anything else?
No, that was what I wanted to do in the privacy of away from these two.
All right. So the 4 of you go back to wherever it is that you were staying. Is there anything you do before you go to bed? Or we fast forward till tomorrow?
Sleep it off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we were feeling the feels and then went to celebration of life mode and lots of drinking, and so we're just immediately crashing.
Okay. So we'll say time will move forward. They will come. We will meet up once more. We'll say the four of you meet up with Aaliyah. We'll say you probably had some kind of point where you were going to meet up on campus, probably near the administrative buildings or something like that. You spend the morning getting your housing sorted, and then maybe we say you meet with Aaliyah mid to late morning on campus itself. And so we'll put the five of you back together then. You will, I would say, when you get to campus and you kind of stroll through it, one of the things you would notice is that it certainly seems less active than you would have thought it would have been. I'm not sure if any of you have ever been here before, but maybe Arushi told some stories, or maybe you just kind of random news or just flying over top of it, whatever it might be. But you can definitely tell that there is a lack of, there's not a lot of people that are like kind of in the quad or who are kind of traveling across campus. Like you can see that there's some people like in the union and various buildings and such, but there's definitely a vibe on campus where people are kind of looking over their shoulders when they walk. And you can see others are like kind of eyeing down any new people or suspicious people. And occasionally you see someone in kind of campus security uniform and such just kind of patrolling around. No one stops you moving around.
It's a bit bare. How many students did you say enrolled?
Number 12. We'll say there's maybe 12,000. It's a small university. We'll say like something like maybe 12,000.
We'll keep taking a look around.
Okay. So you meet up with Aaliyah. You have your lodging taken care of. We'll say administrative. They give you like key access to some sort of nearby apartment that is given to like visiting faculty and such who are here and capped, or people maybe are only teaching for like a semester or some such. And then you have the entirety of the campus at your disposal. So what are we talking about and what are we doing?
Do you want to go to the campus security like we talked about last time?
Yeah, perhaps we split up to cover more ground. I remember a few people feeling a little aggressive towards security, and I think those people perhaps should not go discuss with them.
If we're talking about me, I was gonna stay outside anyway. So that works.
Yeah, I didn't want to single you out, but you're exactly the person I was thinking of.
Sure. I was also a little drunk last night. I just
Anyways, I'm glad that cooler heads prevailed
and
that we decided to wait before we broke the law.
She doesn't say anything. And,
who wanted to break the law?
Looks away.
No one. We wouldn't do that. We're on the right side of the law. We're trying to help.
I'm really glad
people.
you're here, Birdie.
Birdie was so drunk she doesn't remember like that part where she's getting crazy at the end of the night. So if you tell her she was dancing at the funeral and was really inappropriate, she will be properly embarrassed.
Right.
So how do we want to split up? What was that? She said that some people were attacked while heading to like
that people were attacked at night and that it was mostly sort of contusions and bruising and people were being beaten up. So it wasn't like gunshot wounds and everything. So it's just fairly aggressive, non-lethal attacks, but no real consistency apart from it being at night and on Porso campus grounds. Like those are the two things.
Okay.
Birdie, you were excited about the dorms. I'll show you around them. We can ask the students how life is there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
I trust you guys can speak with Darius.
Okay. So Reese and Birdie are going to head over to university housing. Okay. You're going to do the classic Steve Buscemi. Hello, fellow young people.
Yeah. Hello.
I'll go with and leave Bray and Dr. Sonnet to hopefully have good luck.
Okay. So Ray and Dr. Sonnet, you guys are going to go to the campus security office and speak with the head. Is that it, or did you have another plan?
Yeah, try to get the files, I think, would be Dr. Sonnet's priority. What do you think, Ray?
Okay.
Ray will go with you.
Okay. All right. So Birdie, Reese, and Aaliyah. So you guys are basically going to try to, you're just kind of talking to specifically people like in the dorms. You're looking to just talk to students. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me some networking rolls.
Networking or like performance or persuasion?
I'll take a persuasion. Yeah, persuasion's fine. But networking would is like networking in the idea of like talking to people, not like the tech version of networking.
Right.
But yeah, I would take persuasion too. That's fine.
You don't have networking. Is that
You're gonna do persuasion as well? You can do that instead.
okay? Yeah, I can do that.
You can
Oh, but
roll
I'm
unskilled
sorry, I
attempt.
didn't realize that was all of us that were asking.
Yeah, and you're all doing it, so any one of you can
Yeah.
can chat with somebody.
Poor roll. I'm gonna Benny it.
Okay.
A 3.
Remember to
good
put
gosh.
pants on for the next person to talk.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's really very not a good thing if you
Dude,
just
what
suddenly
the
streak
hell?
Oh
across
my
campus.
god.
Okay, I feel like something.
Wow.
I still forgot my clothes.
Oh no.
You are walking across campus.
Right.
without any clothes on.
Fail.
Oh goodness.
Ah.
This
For
is trash,
fail.
buddy. Okay. So Birdie, you had a 5. That's a success. Reese Morgan, you get a critical fail. Aaliyah, you crush it with a raise. So we'll say that the three of you are over by like a series of dorms. Some of these like you can tell a lot of these dorms are split. You know, they're some of them are co-ed, some of them are split, some of them like are focused more on like underclass folk, and then others are upperclassmen, etc. So like they're all kind of mixed and matched a bit. But definitely you can get the sense as you're strolling through some of these places that they are most certainly like half empty. Like you can tell that there is a huge chunk of people missing. And so I'll start with Birdie. Birdie, if you are kind of roving around, you do find like a communal kitchen maybe in one of these dorms.
Okay.
And you see for the first time as you're going through some of these kind of quiet hallways, you hear the sounds of like music and such playing through the doors. But like anytime you knock on a door, no one answers. You just keep knocking on these places and no one seems to want to open the door. But you do eventually run into somebody. You can see that she's kind of thin frame. And she's making some kind of food. You can see over like this kind of communal like electrical grill, and fairly thin frame, kind of jittery hands. You can see every now and then she's kind of darting her eyes here and there, kind of constantly like checking over her shoulder from time to time. And she sees you come in. And are we saying, did you guys kind of like split a little bit? Some of you went to one floor, some of you went to the other.
Yeah, I
some of you
think
went to
we
this.
kind of split up and went around.
Okay.
So it would
You're-
just be me that she'd
Okay.
be seeing.
So she turns around and she looks at you. She said, I'll be done in a second. Just one moment. You can see she suddenly starts like hurrying up with her
Oh.
cooking, like she's
No rush or anything. I was hoping to speak with just someone from on campus. I'm on a campus tour and things are kind of weird.
I thought they canceled those because
Did they? I might have missed like the communication.
you're on a campus tour and you can tell she like starts to back away. Are you on a campus tour? Or are you not on a campus tour? And why are you here then? Why are you on this floor? You shouldn't be in here. You can tell she's getting like very like defensive at this point.
Yeah, and that's when she says, maybe campus tour is the wrong word for it. I'm and she gives some sort of, jargon about how she might be participating in a lecture soon about the crash of the New Hope.
Okay. So you'll see like she'll like the tension that she has in her will kind of lessen somewhat. And she'll say, okay.
I knew Arushi, who
The crash of the Thora.
The Thora, sorry.
Fine.
Our ship was fine.
Unless I don't know something. Did you guys crash a ship?
No.
Okay. And so, well, that's not in the housing. That would be either in the Union, if you go to one of the halls, or it would probably be in one of the academic buildings. But you wouldn't be having it here. This isn't this. You don't have lecture series inside of that.
Yeah,
no, this isn't.
No, I was trying to find somebody to speak with though, because I heard from someone else that there's like attacks happening on campus.
Yeah, there are, and no one really knows who's doing it. And we've been told that if any like anything suspicious happens, like we should report it. And I don't know, some lady claiming to be part of a tour and then saying, oh, hey, no, I'm actually doing a lecture. Showing up in my kitchen in the housing is kind of weird. So you've got like 3 seconds before I call campus security.
Okay, that's fine. I was just wondering if you could point me in the direction of anyone who has like been attacked, and so I can interview them.
You want to interview them? Is that part of your lecture, or is that part of the tour? What is that part of?
Nothing aside from wanting to do the right thing. Don't you want to find out what's happening?
Yeah, I want to find out what's happening.
Don't you want to stop it? Okay, everyone seems so stressed and understandable. That's scary.
Lady, you came into my home. You said you were part of a student tour. Then you said you don't know if you're a part of a student tour. Then you said you're part of some sort of lecture series for the crash of the Thora. And now you're saying you're trying to interview people who have been attacked. You've given me like 17 different stories. You're really suspicious, and I'm calling campus security. And you can see like she's like kind of, I don't know, the classic like touching her ear like she's getting ready to call.
Yeah.
Does you can roll?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I passed, but I guess not. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm shit at this shit.
You passed, but roleplay is roleplay. So like,
yeah.
Like the reason she hasn't called is because you passed. Like she would have called like multiple times, but like you gotta roleplay still.
Yeah, I'm not good at this. At interviewing people. Could we skip to someone else real quick and then come back to me?
Okay. We'll check in with Reese Morgan.
Are you sure you want to do that?
No.
With his critical fail.
I'm new here, guys. Where are the clowns at?
And you hear behind you, excuse me, sir. You can't be nude on campus.
Oh, you must be the clown.
No, sir. I am a member of campus security, and you see this guy is like standing behind you. He's got a uniform on. Like you're at the stairs going up. I understand that that is a cultural thing.
What are you, the entire police? Come on.
If that's gonna make this conversation go smoother, but yeah, you're in a public place here. You can be nude in places of privacy, but that's not this place.
Public? Aren't the dorms private?
Do you have a dorm here? Which one of these is yours?
It's across the campus, though.
Across the campus. Sir, these are the only dorms on campus. They're all in the same place. It's very efficiently laid out.
Well, you've caught me with my pants down.
Yeah, sir. I think you're gonna have to come with me. And let's just not make this any more difficult than it has to be.
Lead the way. I'm compliant.
Okay, so he starts to lead you across campus, and you're basically getting taken to campus security at this point for being suspicious and nude on the steps going up into a dorm. Okay, fantastic. So then we'll check in with Aaliyah. Aaliyah, you crushed it. 21. So I'm going to say you find yourself talking to a. Let's see who do I throw at you? Okay. You find yourself as you're like going about the dorm area, the housing area. You catch a woman who is like, you can see she's got some stuff she's got packed up. It's not suitcases, but you can tell it looks more like she's kind of throwing like a bag strap over her shoulder, and you can see that she's like kind of collecting some materials. Like you're not sure if they're like for sort of study, for tech, or whatever it might be. But you see her coming out of her room and kind of turning around, kind of scanning to make sure it locks. And then she starts like kind of walking down the hall and like kind of stops in your direction. She's fairly short, and she's got this like really tightly coiled dark hair, and she looks at you and she's like, "Don't I know you?"
Yeah, you probably seen me on campus. I've been trying to figure out some stuff with our cameras lately.
Okay. Are you lost?
You're going to class now, or do you have a minute? Because I've been having some trouble with the cameras. I was hoping to get some information so I can calibrate stuff.
I'm going to the union. I guess you could walk with me.
That'd be great.
And then she like hands one of her bags. Here, be useful. And she kind of hands one of these bags over to you to carry.
Which Aliyah will take.
So the two of you like descend into the dorm. You kind of get out onto some of the walkways. And she's like, "So what's up with cameras?"
Apparently there's been some attacks on campus with students.
Yeah.
Haven't really been able to get as many details as we'd like, so they're like upgrading some existing cameras and like going to install some newer cameras. But like I still need to calibrate stuff to make sure everything is working across the old stuff and the new stuff. Can you tell me anything that may have happened that I should look out for over the last like couple days?
Couple days. I think 2 days ago, there were a group and there was an attack. Like, I don't think there was one last night, but I didn't hear about it yet. Like, we don't know. Rumors move, but there's fewer people to move them through these days. But there was one just a couple days ago, and yeah, like, I mean, you know they're ghosted, and they're groups of them, and like I don't know. I heard they're all guys, which makes perfect sense because guys are idiots.
Sure. But ghosted, like a group of ghosted folk? Is that what you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they just sort of like pop out and, and they harass people and then they chase them around, and sometimes they hit them with things and, and then they disappear. That's the story.
All right, that's super helpful. Thank you. That's really weird though. Do you know why?
Do I know why they do it?
Yeah, have you heard anything about why? Like, it's so weird that it's happening at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird and it's annoying, and I'm trying to get my degree and they're interfering with that.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off. But why? Probably because they're guys, because that's what guys are. They're idiots. They do stupid shit like this. So that's my theory.
Have you seen any of this, or like, do you know anyone who's been attacked or anything?
Do I haven't been attacked. I did.
Good.
A friend of mine. She's a research assistant for a professor. She was attacked over by the
professor? Like someone
Professor
who kept
Wren.
her late. Oh, Professor Wren. Okay.
Yeah. He and her, they were scouting out, and they were setting up markers for the hike. And I guess she said that they got attacked when they were coming back to campus. So yeah.
That's gonna be super helpful for me to calculate. What's her name? I'll look outside his lab for her.
Fari Dupra.
Fari Dupra. Right. Thank you.
I don't know if she's still here though. Last I talked with her, she said that she was thinking of leaving. So I don't know.
This was a couple days ago at the prison.
Yeah,
you saw,
like 2-3
this
days.
was different?
No, I mean nothing's different. They all kind of happen. Some of them are worse than others, but that's just kind of how it is.
No, I'm sorry. I meant,
someday.
is this the one that happened a couple days ago?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you for all your help.
Okay. Hey, my bag. As you like. Okay.
Right. Sorry. And still turn to hand it to her.
Okay. All right. Well, see ya. And then she kind of moves into the student union to be kind of, you can see the doors open up. Then she kind of goes inside. You hear the sounds of like music and a handful of voices, such kind of wafting through. It definitely seems like this is a population hub currently during the day, but it's still not as busy as you would expect it to be. So Reese is being arrested. It's taken to campus security for
no.
Yeah. And then Aaliyah is got some info. And then we come back to Birdie. I want to come back to Birdie really fast. Birdie,
yeah. Can I do some sort of roll to get her to not call?
You've already passed your roll. So for me, I think like you can get information out of her. I think
she would just say kind of at this point, just, look, I'm sorry. I know that the tours were canceled, but I was so excited about coming on campus and I was just trying to find someone to talk to that wasn't administration so I wouldn't get in trouble. Please don't call security.
And at that point, she's like, okay, but all right. But I want to go eat my food now. And
yeah, I'm sorry.
Back. Okay. So you're gonna leave now, right?
Yeah, I'll leave.
So she sort of looks at you and then she's like, okay, well, be careful. If you're not a weirdo who attacks people.
I'm not. I just really wanted to, I thought if I could, learn about it, maybe I could help stop it so I could actually come to school and learn. But I mean, obviously this isn't working out well because I freaked you out.
Well, you did kind of show up out of nowhere in my kitchen, and then you said 3 different stories about who you were. So that doesn't really engender a lot of trust. So maybe there's that. We can start there. Maybe who are you? And why you're really here, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
Really want to help?
My name's Birdie. And she'll hold out a hand for a handshake.
She'll lean back and reach her hand out. Yara?
Nice to meet you. What was school like before all this stuff started happening?
It was school, there are cool classes. The, faculty is amazing because, faculty is just really amazing. They're just really good. They're just super experts on everything they do. And they really just don't get paid enough, they really should probably get paid more. Everybody they really,
especially the English department should be.
Yeah, we do have a liberal arts department, and they, it's just really pursuing.
They deserve a raise.
I'm losing the realism here. I'm being pulled out of the moment. I just.
Wait,
that's true. That's true.
I'm really immersed.
It's an optimistic future. So there, in my optimistic future, there are liberal arts faculty members who are well respected on college campuses.
Hell yes, mine too.
So yeah, she starts talking about it, and she's like, she's saying good things. Like, things were great. No one got attacked. I mean, people got attacked. I mean, we have fraternities, so like people do stupid things. Pranks were pranks. Whatever this isn't just a prank. This is terrible, is what it is.
There hasn't been anything like here in your building at all, has there? Or
no, they don't. They don't really attack, like, inside buildings, really. Like, I hear that they really only attack like outside, and like, like when people are like walking from place to place, when they're like, going home or coming back from class, or like going out for the night or coming back from downtown. And so it's like I don't think anyone gets attacked, and I haven't heard anything like that before.
Okay. Yeah. And is it like always just like a poor person who's like alone, or is it ever like more than one person?
I mean, I heard like it's always like one, sometimes two people, but it's never like a lot of people. And they were telling us, like the security guys were saying, like we have to travel at night, that we have to travel in groups and things like that. But some people don't listen.
Gotcha. Does security like offer like escort services and stuff at night for students who can't get groups? Or
I mean, they patrol, but like it's a big campus and there's only so many of them. So we have like, you can call them and everything, but by the time they show up, like that's what I hear. They just kind of disappear, like these people, whatever, that are attacking them. So
yeah. And they're ghosted, right?
That's the rumor. I haven't seen one myself. I haven't been attacked yet.
Well, I hope you don't.
Maybe
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't usually go out at night. I'm not really a night owl. I usually stay in my dorms and I study.
What are you majoring in?
Literature.
No wonder you love the literature department. No, I basically was fishing to see if she was under Ren or not.
No, she wouldn't say that.
Okay.
No, but she's like, no, I was just reading. I like to read, new stuff, old Earth stuff. Reading really is like, the leading indicator of success in college. Like literacy rates are just so important. I really wish more people would value it. But, it's the 27th century for you, yeah. It's really annoying when you're trying to read and you've got, idiot jock boys or whatever it is, just, playing music all night, acting like idiots. But I just put headphones on then and I listen to music and stuff and everything. So.
Nice. All right. Yep. Well, I am, again, super sorry for scaring you. Or being weird. And it was really nice to meet you.
But like,
not that weird. Yeah, that was weird. I am so sorry.
Listen, like, honesty is like the best policy. Like, so maybe, lead with that next time instead of making stuff up. Like, if you want me to trust you, like, I don't know, like maybe you have to trust me as well. Yeah.
That's common sense.
I think Kierkegaard said something like that. I don't know.
Birdie would not know what that is at all. So she'll just kind of nod. Well, thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go eat.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Do you recommend anywhere of like other people to like talk to about this?
You can go to the Union. There's like people there right now. You can go talk to them.
That would probably be less weird. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Then just showing up in someone's kitchen.
And like Birdie looks just really like sorry and awkward about it.
Okay. So Birdie, you leave.
Yeah, she's gone.
She's fine. And we're going to cut over to the campus security offices where first we see Ray and Dr. Sonnet. You go inside. Think of it like a small, very polished and clean kind of police station. It's not as big as like a police station, but it's smaller. You can see that there's like a desk clerk. There's various what looks like signage like up on these different screens that are like sort of rotating through different campus policies and contact Draxel IDs and stuff like that. And you see like a woman behind the sort of this glass, and there's a couple different seats for sitting. And she sees you walk up, and she says, "Can I help you?"
Yes, we were hoping to have a brief meeting with Mr. Rank about campus security.
And who are you two?
My name is Dr. Sonnet. This is my associate, Ray and Nora. We've been asked by the president to do a series of lectures for the students, and we've heard about some of the incidents, and we were just hoping to have a few reassurances before we agreed.
Okay. Roll a persuasion test.
Okay.
And this has a -1 on it.
So we're.
Do you want to support?
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and say how you're supporting. Do a roll. We'll see how you do.
I think Ray was just kind of, perhaps she's assuming that people might have heard about, the incident that happened and how we were helpful. So while normally she would be a fairly humble person, she's going to kind of lean into the fact of, perhaps you heard, about the crew that was, helpful and saving Onyx.
Could we flip it where she rolls and I'm helping her?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay. So I'll roll persuasion to help.
Yeah. While you're doing that, just a vamp, she's going to be like, "So is your name actually Doctor, or are you just one of those people who like have to inject the title like into their introduction, like artificially so?"
I'm sorry, I rolled an ace, so I wasn't paying attention to the conversation. What did you ask me?
I asked, is your name actually Doctor, or is it that just like...
My
like
name is Sonnet.
Doctor
is the title, yes.
Oh, I have a cousin named Sonnet. We call him Sonny all the time.
Well, Sonnet is my surname, so you can just call me Doctor if you wish to refer to me.
Surname?
We
what
call
do you think this
Sonny
is,
D.
the 24th century? Geez, so formal. So you got a raise on that. So that means +2 on your roll, Ray. There is a -1 in play, but so net of +1.
Yeah, so he aced. He did not get a raise, so it was just a +1. So I got
my bad.
11.
Sorry,
yeah.
my rolls aren't updating on my little pop out menu, unfortunately.
No
so
worries.
I have to keep missing them.
And
okay, so you did well.
Keeping it honest.
You did fantastic.
Yeah, so I got got an 11 with his +1.
Okay, so that's great. Sure. I think he's here. Like, "Hey, D, you here?" And she just like yells out as loud as she can down the hall, and you hear the sounds of someone moving, and you see a kind of a stocky guy. Like he's wide and like you could tell he's got some muscle to him, but he's certainly fairly stocky. And he's got like a very deep facial scar that just sort of runs down the side of his face that doesn't seem like he has spent any time to dermally repair. And it kind of covers his eye. He looks like, fairly intimidating in some ways. And he's got this kind of scowl on his face. And he's got some kind of like metal flask in his hand, probably drinking coffee or the equivalent. And he comes back around. He's like, "Yeah, hey, how you doing? What do you need? What's going on? What do you need, Donna?" Like, "Oh, these people, they said the president wants them to do..." What did you say, Doctor? You said you wanted to do some sort of presentation for
a series of lectures. I specialize in epidemiology, and of course, on a campus like this with 12,000 students, it's very easy for all sorts of illnesses to go viral and spread quite quickly. So I'd like to do a series of lectures that really just reinforce the basics of hygiene and how to make sure that you don't spread those diseases. Like if you're sick, you don't go to class, you participate virtually, things along those lines.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, that's fine. What do you need me for? What's going on?
Yeah, so the president was telling us, because, those of us that were, kind of part of, saving Onyx and everything, we've each been asked to kind of do a few different guest lectures here, kind of bring the name recognition along. But we were just wondering that we'd heard that there were some awful attacks that were happening here. And we just, President said that if we talked to you, that we would be reassured about our safety and that we could finalize our plans for this lecture series. So we're here for you to reassure us that everything would be fine and that you've got all this under control.
So like, you want me to reassure you that you're not going to get attacked here?
Well,
you can go on with your
particulars, the details. When we amass several, hopefully 100 students in one place, when the event is over and they all go their separate ways, would any of them be attacked? How often are these attacks occurring?
Listen, what's your name again?
Dr. Sonnet.
Yeah, okay, Dr. Sonnet. Okay, well, you can call me a captain rank then if we're going to start doing that. Now, Doctor, first of all, this isn't probably the best of time to put about 100 and however many people into a single place. And are they going to be attacked? Well, what time you doing your lectures? Because if you do your lectures during the day, yeah, probably fine.
It would be after classes in the evening.
Okay, well, that is an interesting decision on the president's part. I don't really understand why she approves such a thing. And it seems to be very curious, but she seems to be coming apart at the seams. So I suppose that makes sense. So, will people get attacked?
How so? How is she coming apart at the seams?
Well, for one, she has agreed to some sort of special lecture series at night during a time of the day, which we have informed her is kind of dangerous.
What about for two?
Well, we've requested, some sort of campus curfew and things, and she has said no to that as well.
She said no? Why'd she say no?
She didn't give a reason. She's an old, she's a control freak. She doesn't really like when other people, have ideas, and she thinks she's the authority. Like, oh, president, okay, yeah. She's like you,
Is she one of those people that asks you to call her president all the time, too?
Yeah, you get it. Look at that. We were both going right for the same joke. All right. Maybe I misjudged you, guy. I like you. You, not so much. You take too damn long to talk, and I got shit to do. Okay, so what is it I can do for the two of you?
Well,
let's be plain.
Perhaps
we're trying to time this out. So, like, do you have some leads? Do you think that maybe you're close to this? Because
we got some leads. We got some leads.
Who's your lead suspect?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that. Investigative integrity. Got to keep the operation small, just in case. Don't want anyone
small. Like you're the only one in the operation. Do you have people assisting
what are you
you?
talking about? Do I got people assisting me? I got all sorts of people. What are you talking about? I got a whole staff.
Like a task force?
I mean, sure, we can call it task force.
Do you have a lot of resources towards this? I mean, there have been quite a few attacks from what I've heard. Do you know how many attacks there have been?
Yeah, I know how many attacks there's been. I mean, I know how many reported attacks there's been, but then there's,
how many?
Always a number greater than one, less than 100.
Less than 100? Well, I would certainly hope so. That's a lot of attacks.
Listen, guy, there's been, a couple dozen or so, it's hard to tell, every time they get reported, people, they get all frightened, they get all scared. Every time we talk to them, they're kind of shaking and whatnot. The details are always kind of hazy. They can never really point us to anyone in particular. These fellas that we're chasing after, they got they're doing some sort of ghosting stuff and everything. And then they got disguises on. They don't want people knowing what they look like, so they got clown stuff on. Back, I heard this happened once before. Back when I used to work local police. There was a group of bank robbers. Yeah, they called themselves the dead presidents. They would just put on a mask of like old presidents.
I heard they were the ex-presidents.
Yeah, it could be the ex-presidents too. It could be that, but who knows? But anyhow, like there was like, it was like LBJ, whoever that means. This is old Earth history. I'm a little bit of a buff, you might say. Anyhow, but listen, we got to the bottom of it. Then we're gonna get to the bottom of this now.
Well, you, like my associate Ray here told you, we prevented a major terrorist attack.
Hey, Mazel Tov. That's fantastic. Good job. Good.
If we could assist you in this task force, we would be more than happy to lend our services.
You want to assist us? Do you have any sort of investigative credentials?
We were just doing literally investigated a terrorist attack and thwarted it, saving the lives of millions.
Oh, that's interesting. See, when I heard about that, what I heard about his story was that the terrorists actually almost got away with it, and they got into the Draxel comms, and that's what knocked out Draxel in the cluster for like a couple weeks, whatever it was. So I guess your investigative task didn't see that coming, did they?
Well, we weren't tasked with preventing it because we're not actually.
Whoever gets
it
tasked
wasn't our job to prevent
attacks.
it, but we did end it.
we stepped up when action was necessary. We took the necessary action.
Okay. That's fantastic. So how is it you think your skills can be transferable to my task force? What do you think?
Well, perhaps we could work together with this lecture series. It could draw them out.
Okay, so you want to use the lecture series as like a trap to try to draw out some of these attackers? You want to like set up some students to get attacked?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, you're the one with all the files. You could share some information. We could help you. Let's work together on this.
I mean, we wouldn't have to have actual students there, but we could set it up like it's going to be.
Oh, of course. I would never want to put students in actual danger.
No.
Yeah. Hey, but sometimes, you got, if you want to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. It sounds like
but that would put your job at risk, and I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Oh no, I'm pretty secure. I have I have some good references. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, the president does really like the job you're doing? She's going to keep you around?
No, I said I've got good references. People, people with a little bit of power.
Oh, you mean like Mr. Kronk?
Hey! Come on now. What are we doing?
Well, I'm sorry. Is that wrong? Does he not like you? I heard that he helped fund the majority of this university.
Yes, he did, because he is an upstanding citizen of the cluster, and he is a entrepreneur and a businessman that we all should aspire to. He's a wonderful man. Yes, indeed.
Well, it sounds like the person that you would want to have as a good reference.
Like I said, got good references.
That's really cool when you can have this like collaboration between the school and like the community around it.
Lady, for crying out loud, by the time you finish your sentences, half the damn campus is going to get attacked. Okay, geez, Louise. Oh my goodness.
She's read a lot of this 21st century philosopher named Lucian Durer, I think it was. He was known for being a very slow talker, and she takes after him.
And was he like a slow talker, or did he just put like big pauses between when he spoke? Because sometimes people get those things confused. All right. I feel like there's a lot of inside jokes going on in this conversation.
Collaboration is the key word, and I would love to be able to collaborate with you.
All right, listen, I like your idea. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go ahead. Let's set up the trap. That sounds good. You got your lecture series. When's it starting? Is it tonight? We doing it tonight? We doing it tomorrow? What's going on?
That's what we were trying to figure out a calendar for. That's where we came to see where all of this was at. So we could.
I am a doctor. I prefer being data driven. Do you have like a timeline of the events and attacks and how often they occur?
I do have some of that data, and it's at this point the door opens up, and you hear a voice
Reese
saying, "We got another streaker here."
Come
and
on,
here comes
let it go.
naked Reese. And it's like, God, jeez, not another one of these things. What is it? What is it? And he says this to you guys. What is it about young people? They just take their clothes off and runs across the campus. Like, what is wrong with these people?
It's about being from different places, because different places have different like cultures around clothes, and some people they just go without clothes.
We're on a college campus, okay? You can't be walking around or running around with your ding-a-ling kind of flapping around in the breeze like this. Like, you got to be respectful of other people's eyes, you know? You can't be doing this sort of thing, you know? Between them frats with all the, the drinking, the noise complaints, all those types of things. I'm getting too old for this shit. And so he comes over and he's like, guy, why ain't got any pants on?
It's a bit hot, you know. It's more comfortable like this.
Okay, listen. I'm gonna put you in a cell, okay? And I'm gonna get you paid.
We don't have to do that. I'll just
don't have to do it.
Oh, it's okay.
Do you got pants?
Oh, it's back in the house.
Oh, Christ. Hey, where do you? Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, we're gonna get you some pants. Hey, dog, can you go get this guy some pants? I don't know, whatever we got in the back. And she comes back and she's got some like, you know, crappy looking, like reused, like campus security pants that she hands over to you. And she hands it over to you, like, here you go, sweetie. And just kind of puts it in your hands, gives you a little wink.
Put them on.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna need take his statement, record it, you know, yada yada yada. Turns back to you guys. Turns back to Ray, Dr. Sonnet. All right, listen. This was very information. Hope you feel assured. So this is what we're gonna do. Go ahead, make your plans. Talk to the prayers, whoever's got to be. Let me know. Let's. We'll get a couple teams together. You'll do your lecture, and then we'll look for some routes to and from the housing complex and such, you know, spaces where like they might want to pop out and hide, that sort of thing. And we'll lay a few traps. You feel assured?
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
And in the meantime, any files you'd be happy to share, I'd love to go over them and find some more data points.
Why are you trying to go to my files so much? What do you? Don't you got a lecture to report?
Oh,
we'll get.
I could talk for hours about epidemiology without even preparing.
That's great, because we're going to need you to do that tonight.
Ray's going to kind of take Dr. Sonnet by the elbow and kind of spin him around. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. No problem. Okay, I'll check back in with you later, and we'll set up some plans. This is a good idea, Doc. Good idea. All right, see y'all. Get out. This one, put him in a cell. He kind of points over at Reese. It's like,
there's nobody even out there. No one saw anything. Come on.
Nobody saw anything. Nobody saw a thing. Hey, crime's a crime.
Oh, now it's a crime.
When was not a crime, huh? What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's people here. All right, it was a prank. There's this frat. They're called Delta Gamma. I wanted to get in. They had me streak across campus.
Delta Gamma, huh? Roll persuasion test.
Oh, yeah.
Not my strong suit. I'll Benny this 3.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
We're right up against it. So
I'll Benny this 2.
Keep it going.
There we go. We got an exploder.
There you go.
I saw
Got
one
it.
right there.
Nice.
5.
Okay. All right. So tell me more. So they wanted you. So Delta Gamma. They wanted you to streak across campus.
A bit of a hazing.
Lambda. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Usually, like when we get reports that Delta Gamma, they're just a bunch of nerds. That's what I heard. They just kind of play around with the robots and things like that. I didn't realize they had it in them. Good for them. Good for them. It's usually those Lambda numbnuts who are doing stuff like this, you know, raising all hell to like 3 o'clock in the morning, playing the music, doing the drinks, the parties and stuff. They're the ones we got to go do noise complaints on. Okay, well, what's your name again?
It's Reese.
Reese. Okay, Reese, listen, you've You've learned your lesson?
Yeah, I've learned it. No cells for
Right.
me.
Keep your pants on when out in public. If you're not in public, take them off. Go right ahead. I don't care. Do whatever you want. But out in public on the campus, just keep your pants on and let me know and tell your damn Delta Gamma guys to quit with the pranks, okay? We got enough stuff going on. We don't need more pranks. The least thing, what should we start, maybe we should start asking you guys a little bit questions, What other kind of pranks y'all doing, So get your little nerds and get them all sorted out, okay?
All right, I'm out of here.
All right. And so they let you go. Three of you walk out or does Dr. Sonnet walk out, or does he say anything else?
Yeah, he would.
Okay, so three of you walk out. Birdie, Aaliyah, all five of you walk out. You can get on Draxelcon with each other, but we'll say as we are at our time, we're going to go ahead and call it there for tonight, and we'll pick up on the investigation next week, and we'll see how it's going. Okay.
Just on Draxelcoms, you guys hear Birdie's like, guys, I was so weird. I don't go in the dorms. Like, she's going, guys, it was so uncomfortable.
I should have.
Don't worry, Birdie. Reese was walking around naked.
I was not on my game.
Lollygagging's like, we're gonna blend in. We're gonna blend in.
I feel like you cursed it at the start because you're like, "Hello, fellow students," and like that tone just
that's what I call like, "Hello, fellow young people."
Yeah.
Please do so. You're like, I thought I passed. I'm like, that's the only reason she hasn't called the cops on you yet.
I'm like, that was me calling out for help. I'm like, Jeff, I fucked up.
I said a thing,
Oh,
and I tried
goodness.
to recover by saying a different thing, and then I don't know.
Like,
Third tries the charm. Okay, so we're actually here.
actually, I'm an alien.
We're
And-
landscaping.
I've never been on a planet
Wait a
before.
This isn't the soccer field. What am I doing here? I'm so confused. Oh, geez, I better get out of here.
I'm so confused. By the way, have you heard about them attacking people? That's crazy, right? Do you have any details? Do you know who they are?
Birdie immediately just ghosts her body, falls limp in the room.
Okay. Anyhow, well, that's the end of that. We'll pick up on that next week, and we'll see if we can get to the bottom of these attacks on Porso University. Okay. Let's do some closing plugs, then we'll get out of here. So, Steven, shut up. My Trey, go ahead and tell us where you can find yourself on the internet.
I am much release games on YouTube where I make system agnostic or multi-system content about developers that center the GM and player experience.
Fantastic. Links will be in descriptions and all that sort of stuff. So just kind of check the notes and you'll be able to find everyone's stuff, including this fine young cannibal himself, Dr. Sonnet. Steven, tell me, what do you got going on?
Yeah, so the book that Jeff is holding up there is Huckleberry. It's a Weird West RPG. I happened to write it. Jeff was an editor on it. We got a lot of great people working on it. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up for it. And you can find out more details at huckleberryrpg.com. If you join the mailing list, you'll get all the updates, let you know when everything comes out. That's where all the good information is.
Awesome. And as for us here, what do we got going on? Next stream is on Monday. We're playing some Motherscape Mythos Cyberpunk using the Mist engine. Tuesday, we should be getting back to Perils and Princesses, where Kipser hops into the GM seat. Next Thursday, we've got Swords of the Serpentine, where Long has betrayed his family, and we will see how that turns out for him. And then Friday next week, speaking of Lucien Dure, we are back to Magnus Archives, where Stephen will run us through Hamburg, Germany, or Hamburg, Germany, with our institute and our investigations. Okay, is that everything? We good? Let's go ahead and do a raid. Who do we want to raid? Let's see. Who do we want to raid? Let's raid Transplant RPG. Looks like they're just getting started, so we're going to raid them. Follow the raid. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.